Well, hello, everybody. This is Tracy from Calming the Chaos. And I am so happy to be with you on Memorial Day when we are commemorating those who have died in service of our country. And one of the things that we love about people who have died in service of our country and anybody who has served our country is that we get to have fun and we get to have freedom. And so, what more freedom should we have except for amusement parks, right? So, I decided, actually, my husband and I were deciding, how did this even happen? Let me bring Timmy up. How did this even happen that we got this idea for this stream? Hey.
Hey, I don't know how it happened. I just know that it did. So we were just chatting um, in the house, and I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but we were just reminiscing, so to speak. So in honor of Memorial Day, so I guess we've got this list and of memories that we have doing some fun things together with other people and with each other, and some not so fun details about some of these events that happened. So,
Yeah, so we're going to go through them and we're going to actually add somebody who is just geeking out over a video game. My brother-in-law, Scotty Too Hottie. I'm going to add him to the stream. How are you doing on your video game now?
We are doing wonderful. We
Oh.
have killed the raider. Oh, is he back? There's two of them. They're back.
Okay. That's all
But we
right.
did kill the one. We took his boom and all of his guns and his ammo and his explosives. So
apparently, you didn't take all of it if he's back. Oh, I can hear Mark. Got another one.
yeah.
There's his twin on the other end of the line.
Ah.
But it's Mark's, isn't it Mark's field that you're playing on? Like it's all his stuff that you're trying to defend. Isn't that right?
No, they couldn't see him.
He can't hear us. You know what? You know what? Let's just move on, Tracy.
Okay. Do we want to remove?
I'm wounded.
Scott's way too involved into this Rust thing,
Okay, we'll bring up Scotty when we start talking about. So just hang loose there, Scotty, and we'll bring you up when it comes time for you to speak. Okay.
Okie dokie.
That
He's
dude
way
is
too
really
involved in that.
Oh
game.
yeah. Well, the first couple of ones don't have to do with him anyway. But so here I am. I'm just wanting to highlight some of the top 10 experiences we've had at amusement parks and the things that we've done in our lives. And so, in order to do that, I have to do a lot of things at one time. So, please be kind. And I'm going to play a little mood music. And we're going to go into our first. Oh my gosh, can I do this? Our first one, which is Las Vegas. And that is the gondola ride. So, what do we remember about the gondola ride? Timmy, go ahead and go while I get the picture up.
Well, I think what it was is we wanted to do it. It's at the Venetian in Las Vegas. If you haven't been to Las Vegas and haven't done this, if it's too windy out, which it can be windy. Now the gondola ride can go outside and inside. It was too windy this evening, so we were only able to do the inside of the ride. And so basically, you get into a gondola. It could be two people, it could be three, it could be four. Three's kind of awkward, but and you have some guy dressed in Italian garb who kind of sings to you as he takes you through the gondola.
And the gondola, just to be clear, is that boat right there that we see in the fake waters of the Venetian. So this is inside a Vegas hotel, which is absolutely amazing, I thought. Mm-hmm. And when we got into the gondola, we were serenaded. Well, he was going to serenade us, but then what happened was, from what I remember, the guy didn't know any songs, so we had to think of songs for him to sing us, and he had a striped shirt on, and the only thing I can say is, what's that song about the big pizza pie? And he goes, oh, that's Amore. And so he started to sing That's Amore.
Yeah, that's true. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he was a character, and he actually looked like your brother Mark, didn't he?
He kind of did, yes.
Exactly. So here's a picture of both of us. So back then, when we went in 2008, I believe, we had to take pictures of each other on the gondola ride because the dude who was driving the boat, you know what? I think he did take a picture of us together, but I don't know where those pictures are.
I don't know. This was like the beginning of like the smartphone, the revolution. Because I think the first iPhone came out in like 2007, 2006, something like that. I mean, you think about that, 17, 18 years ago, whatever the heck it is. So you just couldn't pull out your phone per se and, oh, let me take a picture. Boom. No, it was actual cameras that you
Had a
to
camera.
pull out, like a camera. And actually, I do believe this may have been the actual camera that took those pictures.
And then you downloaded them on a disc, or you went, actually what we used to do is we went to the Rite Aid store and
Yeah.
they would print out the prints. And that's where we got this picture from, well, actually not this picture, but these pictures where we're actually in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So, showing our age a little bit.
Well, that's okay. It's not bad. So, all right. So let's just go ahead and switch the mood a little bit with the music.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stories that come out of Vegas for those of you who have not been.
Oh wait, that's not my.
No, that's not what we wanted. Sorry, children.
Yeah, let's go to number 9, which is the Jaws ride at Universal Studios in Florida. Now, oh my gosh, I'm going to go ahead, and I don't have the link to a wonderful video. No, we didn't take it, but it's on YouTube about this ride. But tell us a little bit about this ride while I get the picture up here.
Well, the first thing they tell you, so it's at Universal Studios in Orlando. We were down there for like 2 or 3 days. Tracy was at a conference. Mike tagged along. Just why not? Never been to Florida before. And so basically, before you get on this ride, they tell you, and they explicitly tell you, you cannot film, you can't do this, you can't do that. Now, even at this time, again, we're talking, I'm not really sure of the year, cell phone cameras weren't a big thing at the time as they are now. So we're still talking 15 years ago. But we did have a camera, and it was designed explicitly for taking videos. It was a whopping 5 megapixel camera, and it was really, really neat. But they said, no, you cannot take pictures, you cannot take video.
Yeah, but apparently these people on YouTube did. They may have changed the policy since then.
I think some people just sneaked it anyways, and but we were in the front seat of the boat ride. So basically, what the boat ride did is it took you through the harbor town of Amity, not Amityville, but Amity Island, which is where the very first, where Jaws took place, was on Amity Island. And so you got to see a lot of different things. You got to see the boat, the Orca, that was, it was capsized and off to the side. So it was fun. There was a lot of interesting stories out of Universal Studios Florida on that trip. A lot of interesting stories. If we got time later, we can go back into them. But had one of the most surprising rides we've been on, and I think one of the most disappointing and wastes of time we ever did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so Universal Studios in Florida apparently now has the Harry Potter ride, which we weren't there in time to.
Yeah, I think it's the Harry Potter experience. It's a whole nother, like if you've ever been to Disneyland, they break it into different departments. So like you have Toonville and you have Adventureland. Well, Universal Studios started to do the same thing, and actually it's pretty sunny out here. That's why I've got that shine around my head.
I know, me too. Look, I got stripes. Yeah, it's very sunny.
Anyways, they added that to the Universal Studios, so that's in a different section, and you may have to pay extra to get in there, but That's the whole Hogwarts and all that other stuff. And I think they were building it when we were there. They may have been building it. I'm not sure.
One of the things I really appreciated about the Jaws ride is the pyrotechnics, all of the fire and the water and the shark. The shark, it looked actually realistic when it was under the water and you got to see the dorsal fin. But when it came up, it was kind of almost like the movie, kind of looks a little fake. But that's what made it really super cool. And at the very end, I won't spoil it for y'all, but the shark did change forms. And so, again, I'm going to put a link down below for anybody who wants to watch these people who recorded the Jaws ride at Universal Studios in Florida. And they did just an awesome job at depicting the whole thing.
So, trivia question for those of you who are watching this, either now or in the future. The mechanical shark that was in the movie Jaws had a name. Steven Spielberg, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, they gave the mechanical shark a name. So if you know what that is, put it down there in the description or in the comments and let us know.
Comments. Yeah, okay. We won't reveal it, but there was indeed a name.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to our next favorite, I guess. So we're moving down to number 8. And we're just going to go ahead and get all nice and cozy and relaxed, because what we have here is, and it's not really a theme park, but it is a wonderful experience. If you're ever in Las Vegas, go to the Wax Museum. It is so freaking fun. I don't even know. I think the reason we went is because we got like free tickets or something, and we thought,
we did.
Why not?
We did. Yes, we did.
And it was so fun. It was so fun to go and experience these things, because what you can do is they allow you. Oh, well, that one actually looks really pretty realistic. There's me and Timmy with the Barack Obama wax figure. So the cool thing about it is that you can have so much fun posing with these celebrity figures who look surprisingly real. So I'm going to go ahead and show the audience some of these pictures. And here is one with Timmy and The Rock. See how
Rama Bull, yes.
Yeah. So The Rock is where he is, and then Timmy just kind of, looks at him like they're having a conversation. I think there was one of me and Cameron Diaz doing the same thing, but I didn't choose to put that in this live stream. But yeah, Dwayne Johnson, what do you think?
The Rock, yeah.
Rock.
Yeah. They make them, nowadays sometimes they get criticized for some of the wax figurines they come up with, but this one was pretty realistic, along with some of the other ones you might be showing here. Mm-hmm. I think for the most part they were all pretty realistic.
Yeah, this one was, and apparently it looks like he's wearing some sort of a see-through, like, I don't know, his chest is all shiny, and I didn't remember him looking like that. And he's got the the big belt buckle, which is like a tombstone for what's dead underneath, right? Is that
that's it's supposed to be? That is the rumor.
The rumor. All right. Well, this other picture here is me and Johnny Depp. Here, I'm going to go ahead and take away the banner.
That's got to be pre Amber Heard there.
Before Amber, it was Tracy.
Amber might not have been born yet. I don't know. If she was like 4 or 5 years old at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, there I am with Johnny. I mean, we look pretty serious. I mean, we had a thing going on. Yeah, that was a great. He was wearing that suit, and I was wearing my, whatever the heck housewife outfit that I had on that day.
That's not a housewife outfit.
Oh my gosh.
That's Johnny Depp circa Benny and June, I would guess. And you see
Yeah,
the poster.
maybe.
Interesting thing, you can tell what time frame we are if you look at the poster in the background
Hey, who
behind
is that?
Johnny's
Oh, the
left
Blue
shoulder.
Man.
That was the Blue Man Group.
Mhm.
And that was a big thing back then. That was huge, is when they were just hitting it big, the Blue Man
Wow.
Group. So it kind of dates us a little bit there, but there you go.
All right, and the next picture from the Wax Museum. Timmy, tell us about this picture.
Oh, good old GW. So yeah, every year, Madame Tussauds does do a wax figurine of the president. Now I don't know if they did Donald Trump or not, or if they've done Joe Biden, but I know they did George W. Bush, and you've already seen the Barack Obama one. So yeah, so I just thought I'd have a little fun with this wax figurine and start choking it.
Yeah, that was kind of you know, a little unpatriotic. But I don't think Bush was the president at the time. It was
No,
Obama because we ended up
correct.
getting, yeah. So it was in 08 that we went, and Timmy was able to strangle the former president. So
Yes.
this next one is quite, you know, and it was really super tough for me to be with two guys, well, actually three guys in one day, because I was with my husband, but then I was with Johnny Depp, and then I'm with Hugh Hefner. There we are at the Playboy. I don't know if this is a circular bed or whatever, but he's got his purple pajamas on, he's got his whiskey, and I don't know. What do you think about the position of my hand on his thigh? It's
Well, I'm not really sure, but you know, it's Hugh, so it's Hugh Hefner. So actually, that was a really good pose. I think you did a great job there.
except for the shoes. I should have been wearing like high heels or like barefooted or something. The shoes are just so practical for walking around in Vegas, you know. But jeez, oh my gosh, me and you got a thing going on, and me and Johnny got a thing going on.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
you. Yeah, see?
Yeah, I'm just kind of a slut like that, you know, just going from man to man. I look a little more serious with Johnny, like, you know, it's like, hey,
Well, because
this is the real thing.
He's looking serious.
And I'm like going, hey.
You know, there was a lot
Hey.
of really good, when we went through this, we're not seeing the one where I'm standing behind Tiger Woods and Arnold Palmer as they're lining up a putt. There's also another one with Elvis Presley. There's one with Prince.
We got tons of
guitar.
them.
There's one with Stevie Wonder at a
Fun.
piano. I know there was one with me with, sorry children, Jenna Jameson, but we've lost that photo somewhere. I don't know where that's at.
I forgot about that one. Oh my god. Yeah.
You know, and it's really interesting. A lot of people may or may not know, but Prince was not a very tall person. He was about my height, about 5'5". So if you ever see him on stage, you'll notice he's always wearing some sort of heels, whether they're, you know, 2 or 3 inch heels that kind of boost him up a little bit. So
Right.
just an interesting tidbit.
Yeah. So we're going to shift gears now, and we are going to add Scotty to Hottie. Are you ready, Scott? You going to nod to me? All right, we're going to do this here. There we go. All right, here's Scotty. He's going to tell us a story, and I'm going to actually pull up our next banner, which is number 7. Now, this is one of my favorite rides ever, the swings, right? But apparently Scott has a story, or Timmy and Scott have a story about the swings. I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of the normal swings, the swings that I actually like, you know, the individual, you're sitting by yourself and, you know, it's kind of whirling around. But apparently there's a unique kind of swing setup. And Scott has a little story to tell about that.
Yeah, that was a good time. That swing, man, let me tell you. We rode and rode that swing until somebody got a little sick. And
which twin got sick?
That would be my brother.
Of course, blame it on the brother, right?
Absolutely.
Now he took a responsibility. He said it was probably, and that's what my guess was too. I was like, oh, it was probably Mark.
Yeah, that was loads of fun. That was like one of the top things as a kid. I remember the rides we had until we got a little older, you know, until Cedar Point really took off.
That was at Utica Amusement Park.
That was, I believe, that was our father's union picnic.
It was his union picnic, his annual union picnic. Yeah. And it wasn't just a swing. What it was like 2 chairs, metal chairs that faced each other. And there was a round disc sort of table in the middle, and you get buckled in, and it would do what a normal swing would do, but you're connected. These two chairs are connected together. And what you could do is, as the swing swings and the chairs kind of, centrifugal force forces the swings vertical as opposed to horizontal, you could take your hands and spin that wheel. And so you're spinning like this, and then as it goes, now you're spinning like this as the swing goes around. And so these fools got on this ride, and there wasn't a ton of people there, and they must have went on it 4, 5, 6 times in a row. And the cool thing is this was a really neat celebration for the union workers, because everything was open. I mean, if you went up to an ice cream truck, asked for ice cream, they give it. You don't pay for anything. It's already paid for. If you go up to a hot dog vendor and ask for a hot dog, you get hot dogs. So that's what we were doing all day. We were getting food, doing this, doing that. Well, they had rode this thing 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, whatever. Mark goes behind this tent and throws up, just pukes his freaking guts out. And, good gosh, to his credit, he comes out and he goes, "All right, Scotty, let's go back on." Hey.
Yeah.
He pukes out all that free food? Like, how rude. He probably had to go get more later, huh?
But, here's the thing of the time difference. Are you talking like, we didn't have digital cameras. Also on a ride that, when you describe it as dangerous as it is, there was no.
Oh, good Lord!
There was no shoulder strap, dude. You got in this thing,
Dude,
which
there
would have
wasn't
been at least
anything.
probably an extra, 1.5. There was nothing. You just sat there and you just had that wheel, and you hung on for dear life. When I say dear life, dear life.
So here's the safety precautions they have. You sit in this chair and it's metal. There's no protective. It's not not envelope. And then they put this little chain link thing across your lap, and there's a sag in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, here you go. You'll be okay. And then you got some, 16-year-old kid picking his nose who's running a damn machine. And it's like, we're okay. And you could yell at them, "Hey, keep it going, keep it going." And they do. Because there's no lines. There's nobody in line.
cares?
The whole park is ours, and it's great.
Wow.
It was fun.
Yeah, okay. So the twin that did not throw up is on stream with us. Thank you so much, Scotty Too Hottie. Oh my
And
gosh.
if you remember too, while we were doing all that, what was Grandpa doing?
Probably drinking beer.
He was playing checkers. Remember?
Oh, that's right. He was playing.
Hang on, I'll be right back. I think I have a picture now because I keep it on my mirror. Hang on a second. I've got to show you this picture.
Oh boy.
Maybe.
Looks like Pastor Mark wants to join. He
Right,
doesn't have a
right,
video
right.
yet, but
I got it. I see the picture. All right.
You got it? Yeah, I think
got
I
it.
remember that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Funny thing is I have video footage of a future gathering of this sort at the same park years later. I had moved out, but you guys had done this again, and you and Mark started some line dancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
And let me tell you,
Mark.
while our grandfather was sitting there playing checkers, the one thing I remembered most was not the fact that he was winning, which he was, but the fact that you could have been an 80-year-old person coming to play checkers, or you could have been an 8-year-old. He didn't care. If you wanted to play checkers, you could play checkers with him. And there he is sitting in his chair,
Teddy.
holding a trophy that he won for first place just for sitting there so long. They got him a special trophy. I guess they weren't really going to have one, but since he stood there pretty much the whole entire day just playing checkers and no one could beat him, they got him a little trophy. So
So what's the beer? Is that Blatz or Schlitz?
Oh boy, that would be. Let me
I think
get my
that's Blatz.
I think that's Flat Blatz. Yeah.
Is that Flat Blatz? Oh, here we go. Anyways,
I think so.
So many memories from just this event, because it went on year after year. I don't know how many years in a row they did it, but it was Utica Amusement Park. They had all kinds of basically it was an amusement park that didn't move from place to place. And they had all the normal carnival rides, the swings and the tilt-a-whirl and the scrambler and a little Ferris wheel and stuff like that.
Mark, do you have anything to say about that wondrous day with you and your twin on the swing rides? Here, I'll go ahead and I know for context we can put this thing back up for sure. Mark's just breathing hard.
Yeah.
I know.
There's just a lot of
rough,
heavy
man.
breathing.
Who's looking at my brother there this way? He just had foot surgery, so he had a plate and 8 screws put in his foot, so he's not going to be moving around too much.
Damn. I remember that.
Wings.
I got pictures on a click stick of us at Cedar Point, I think.
Yeah, that would have been Cedar Point 2.0.
Well, we're gonna get to Cedar Point for sure. But all right, so we're gonna switch gears here, and we're gonna go to a specific memory of Timmy's, and I want to choose the right music. I think I'm just gonna choose this one because what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to number 6.
6? Oh, we're at 6.
Well, tomorrow's the purge, bro.
Tomorrow is?
Yeah, for
All right.
Is
Well, so we're gonna have to get the picture up here because. All right. So we.
Oh gosh.
Are gonna be
Spider.
talking Spidey Spoder.
All right. Now I don't know if Mark and Scott know this story. They probably do by now, but I don't know how old you guys were when this happened. But we went to a carnival, and it wasn't Utica Amusement Park. I think it was one of them traveling carnivals. And Mom wanted to go on a spider. Mom loves carnival rides. You guys already know that. She loves them.
Yeah.
She just can't do it now. So she wanted to go on this, and I just begged her to go on it. I mean, as much as I begged to eat Brussels sprouts, I begged to go on this ride with her. So we get on the ride together, and this thing starts going. And I'm like, Mom, I'm going to throw up. And she's like, you are not throwing up on me. I will not.
Oh, yeah.
And so she starts screaming, and Dad's down there taking pictures. And she's screaming, Roy, which is our dad's name. Stop the ride! Stop the ride! And lo and behold, after a minute or so, they did stop the ride. They got me off, and they let the ride continue. But I'm one of the very few people that have actually stopped the carnival ride in the middle of it.
You actually knew that you were going to throw up, and you told your
I
mom
really felt like
calmly,
I was.
like, Mom, I'm going to throw up.
Well, I don't know how calm I was when I told her. I just was like,
You
I'm
were
gonna
going,
throw
you were
up.
retching, you were
I
like,
was I'm gonna throw up, and she's
Mom.
like, you're not throwing up on me, not today.
not
So,
today. She's your mom. She's used to baby vomit. She's had 4 kids. Of course, she's gonna. I mean, oh
so
my
ever
gosh.
since then, you can call it the spider, you can call it the octopus, you can call it the tarantula, you can call it the squid, whatever you want to call it. This is kind of the version. There are different iterations of it. I think the one we were on, as you're looking at this, I think it was a little bit different, and I think it spun a little bit more. But either way, I'm not going on that ride ever again in my life. So there you go.
Do you remember the ride with the wheel in the middle? And you spun the wheel and it spun your cart?
That's a tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went on that with Roy. I went on that with Roy, and Roy spun that son of a bitch.
Oh, we will get to. In fact, our next one here. I gotta figure out the music that I'm gonna do. It's one of my stories. It's gotta be. It's gotta be some sort of a. I don't know.
Dude, you're laboring there, Mark. What's going on, bro? You all right?
Yeah, it just hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only been, 9 days?
All right.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do too much ass kicking with the same foot.
Ooh, wow.
All right.
Hope this is royalty-free music.
Focus.
We're gonna move on to number 5, which is my absolute worst ride ever, and that is the
zipper.
Well, I've never. No, it's different than the zipper. I keep trying to tell you that,
I know.
but it is the absolute worst experience of my whole life.
Or as you go around And the Ferris
that
wheel,
one.
your cage you're in also spins.
Yes.
Yes. Dude, that was another crazy ride. When you look back now, you're like, damn.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's
completely safe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right?
safe. You know,
Yeah.
here, let's not give you shoulder straps. Let's not pad the cage. We're gonna put you in this metal crate, and we're gonna spin it around in circles as the whole thing goes around in circles. 100 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so the story I want to tell, and these are the exact kind of cages that I was in. And I believe it was a friend of the family, or a friend of my ex-husband's family, and he was he was a church friend. So, I didn't want to be rude, but we were at this carnival together with a bunch of other people, and we went onto this ride, and I'm just like, first off, I get irritated because these things can spin up and down and all around, and you can spin them. They have the ability. You have the ability to actually flip them over. And so, at one point in time, I think what was happening was, first off, when they were spinning, when we were just doing the whole Ferris wheel, I had gotten very irritated because my hair got really staticky, because it gets staticky when it rubs up against a cage. I mean, come on. And then they started letting people off the ride, person by person. But what they did was they actually let people off the ride, like when we were on the very freaking top of the ride. And I'm just like, no, because we were there, and then this guy was trying to mess with me. And he started to flip it around while we were up on the very highest point. And again, I didn't want to be rude or anything, but I was like going, when we get down on the ground where I can properly smack your ass. Oh, what happened to Timmy? Device is not connected. Huh, that's interesting. Better fix that, Tim. Yeah, that was probably one of the worst experiences. Have either of you gone on this ride? I know Timmy has not.
I have not.
Yeah, well, you're lucky, and you're very, very intelligent, because nobody should ever go on this ride. Ever. Well, I wonder what happened to Timmy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It says device is not connected. He probably got really excited hearing my story, and he unplugged himself.
Yeah.
I'll take note and see if maybe he'll come back. So,
Who do you guys have for internet?
oh, it's his devices. Our internet is. I mean, if our internet was good, I would be out there. Yeah. Okay. So that's number 5, and the thing that I'd like to so here's where we transition to Cedar Point. And so Cedar Point was someplace where we went back in 2007. Can you guys believe it's been that long since we've been?
Wow.
Oh, okay. Here's Timmy back into this stream. Okay, fine. All right. So this does not do this next one justice, because what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the water ride that we did, and how wet we all got.
Oh, yeah.
So let me bring Timmy back on the stream, and then go ahead and cut out to this picture, and I'm going to go ahead and do number 4, which is the water ride at Cedar Point in Ohio, and see if we can bring a picture up. This was the after effect.
I got a bunch of them pictures from Cedar Point.
I know, man. Yeah, I know. And we were so wet. We got so wet on that ride. It was so fun. We all went together, and I don't know. It just seemed like, those water rides were just, they were like the best, because afterwards you just took pictures like this where you're all sopping wet. And this is where I thought we were standing in line, and we were just kind of shooting the breeze, and then all of a sudden a breeze comes around, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I smell garbage. I smell garbage. And Timmy said, yeah, I do too. And we were looking around for a dumpster, because we really did smell the garbage. And then What happened after that, guys?
I don't,
Oh,
I
you're
don't
not coming
remember.
through, hon. Yeah, we can't hear you. Well, somebody claimed it. And it wasn't me. All right? I'm saying.
No,
Yeah. It
nothing.
was
Nothing.
we were thinking that Pastor Mark had exorcised all of his demons within his intestines that day before he was a pastor, and he basically did his own exorcism because he admitted to it. It was him that released the gas. Yeah, no, we can't hear you, hon.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. I don't know how you fucked that up, Timmy, but you know,
Just unplug and replug your headphones back in.
There we are. I mean, just all in our
Yeah.
beauty, and like, look at those glasses that I was wearing. Holy cow!
No, that look good. What's wrong with them?
Totally 2007.
Yeah, it's coming back.
It's coming back. Yeah. Oh, I guess. Yeah. Look, and now I'm wearing the striped shirt because of my blinds here. You know, like I just love doing live streams at
That
4.
picture you were just on, did you notice the shirt Timmy was wearing? He bought there.
Yeah, he did, and he
That
didn't
was
ride the
because
ride.
He did right, exactly. He bought the Mantis shirt, but didn't ride the Mantis.
I know. I was telling him that the other day. You bought the man. You and I rode the Mantis.
We wrote everything
We
there.
rode every. Yeah, you and I were just like.
Didn't help going there hanging though.
What's that?
Didn't help going there when we drank the night before.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were all hungover from the night before, but then we'll get to the drinking story of me and Scott because that's of course the best. Timmy.
And can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
shit.
you.
Houston, we have connection.
Well, no, okay. Let's add some context to this whole story.
Hang
all
on,
right? So
hang on.
It wasn't a water ride, okay? What it was is we were all waiting in line to go on the merry-go-round that had
Mhm.
horses on it, the racing horses. And we were waiting there, and Tracy and I were standing back, and Mark and his girlfriend were a little bit in front, and Scott, I'm not sure, you might have went to the bathroom right quick, I'm not sure. So anyways, that's when Tracy we were like just standing there kind of, talking about the day for a moment. And then we were like, you smell that? I'm like, and that's when we started looking around for the dumpster. And I says, well, I think I see a dumpster right over there. And we're like, no, that's too far away. And that's when my brother Mark, Pastor Mark, turns around and goes, oh, you smell that? That's me. And that was the nastiest smelling fart I've ever smelt in my whole life. I actually wanted to throw up. It was that bad. I was like, please get me the hell out of here.
But it was lingering. It lingered. It was like
it was a hot day and there was no wind. So
it was, and here's
There was
the funny
some
thing
wind,
about that
alright.
day is that was I believe that was July 4th or 5th. I'm not really sure. I believe it was 1997, maybe 96.
97.
And what it was is we had showed up the day before, or flew in, and there was a tornado that went through the neighborhood that uprooted a tree.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that's how bad it was. But the very next day, it was absolutely gorgeous out. Down there where we were going at Cedar Point. So it was, I had to buy a shirt, and the reason I bought that shirt wasn't because it had the Mantis. It was the cheapest freaking T-shirt I could find. And I was like, that's what I had. So there you go. Context to the stinky fart.
But you guys don't appreciate what I didn't want none of the other, people that were there coming near us. I wanted to build a barrouncade,
Oh,
you
trust
guys-
me, nobody came around.
Yeah.
Nobody
left
came around.
the whole amusement park after that.
Wouldn't that be awesome? You're in line for the Mantis and I rip one of them.
You should have done that with Scott and I when we rode
I know.
this last
People
time.
would have got out of line.
Well, they
Oh,
did
yes.
anyways. Well,
Yeah,
let
I
them
know.
tell the story.
All right, so we're gonna go on to the next one, which is number 3. Actually, wow, we're almost done with this. So the number 3 is. You ready for this one? I don't know if anybody remembers the Gemini.
Oh, yeah, I remember the Gemini.
Yeah, the Gemini is a very special ride, and here's Timmy telling me, you know what? If I can't go on to any other roller coaster, I know this is the biggest wooden roller coaster,
Yep.
and
time,
I
it was the
have
biggest
been
wooden
on
one in
it.
the world.
Yeah, in the
Right.
At the
world.
time, yeah, when it was first
Right.
made, yeah, 132 feet in the air. I think it was a 60 or 65 degree down angle.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the biggest wooden roller coaster at the time it was introduced, and I believe it's still being used today.
Yes, it is. And so Timmy says, you know what? I've gone on this before. I know I can do it. I'm doing it again. And I'm like, great. So all four, actually, it was five of us. And we all went on this Gemini. And what happened is Timmy, as we got to where we had to, get into the chairs or whatever, the seats, he started to get all weird and quiet. And I'm just like, oh, he's probably just, thinking it over, whatever. And he gets so quiet. We get into our seats and it starts to run and it just starts to do its first thing. Like, I think it probably, I'll go ahead and put a link to the Gemini and how it does it. But it starts out flat, but then I think it rises up.
Yeah. Clink, 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 clink.
Exactly. Yeah. When you start hearing that, that's when I start freaking out myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
And then you
talk me
get to
into
the
this
top, you
shit.
can't even see the bottom.
Why am I on this? I don't know.
Oh.
This is not proving anything in my life.
He starts going down into the basement so fast with his thoughts about, like, oh my gosh, no, why did I do this? How come I'm here? Why am I doing this? No, get me off of this ride. And I'm like thinking, like, I know how his mom felt back on the spider, I know. It's like there's no getting off of this ride though, because let's just be honest here. He was clinking up. There's no way he's going to get off of the ride.
Hey, to my credit, I have never thrown up on a ride or after a ride. I haven't. I
Yeah.
felt like I was going to, but I never have.
So you didn't throw up after the spider?
No.
Oh.
No, I did not. I felt like I was going to, but I didn't. I didn't throw up after the tilt-a-whirl. I didn't throw up after any roller coaster. I got white.
Oh, yeah.
Very white.
We'll see some white pictures of you. I mean, because
Very pale.
white skin matters, as you know. Yes. So I had to listen to that I think the Gemini is maybe 5 minutes long. He was praying for his life. He was begging to get off the ride.
It obviously worked. I'm still here.
He was regretting his decision to get on the ride. He was vowing never to do it again. And so I had to listen to that for like 5 minutes as the ride progressed. And it was awesome. So there we go. This is why we rank it number 3.
Just out of curiosity, because I forgot about until now, did Timmy ever mention to you about a little island we had? It was called Pablo Island.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pablo Island was a little island that you could take a little ferry to, and it was literally in a musical park. It was like a mini Cedar Point, kind of. And we had that. It was only open from like 87 to 93 for some.
I think it was a little bit longer than that, but it's closed down now because I think they put a bunch. What was it? Didn't Coleman Young turn it into a bunch of casinos and stuff like that? But yeah, I mean, you take the boat, the ferry, right, down the Detroit River, and how long was the ferry ride? It was at least an hour, right?
No.
Yeah.
Was it?
No?
I think so.
I don't think so. Pablo Island Music Park was abandoned. The music park, which operated from 1898 until its closure on September 30th, 1993.
Okay, yeah. So how long was the ferry ride? The ferry ride I thought was fairly long.
Let me see.
I want to say it was like an hour. So anyways, but yeah, to his credit, as he's looking this up, yeah, you'd get there and it was kind of a glorified or an expanded carnival. Them traveling carnivals that come to your town. It was like that. Those were the kind of rides they had, but they were a little bit more beefier, a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, things like that. But as schools, local schools would be like a summer trip that the local schools would do. So kids from the elementary and junior highs, they would come down, they'd get on the Boblo ferry. That's the only way to get to the island. You have to get on the ferry. Go ahead, Scott.
5 minutes. The island is a 5-minute ferry ride.
No, it was longer than that. Wasn't it, Mark?
18 miles from Detroit.
Well, I've seen Timmy almost get sick on a ferry ride from Port Angeles to
I swear
Victoria.
that ferry ride was at least an hour.
It might have seemed like that when you were younger, but I'm looking at it saying
because we were having.
It's only 18 miles. Well, how long?
Well, a ferry ride. I mean, they're not going 18. It's not going 18 miles an hour, or even if it was, that would be an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd say it was an hour and a half. I mean, that's just me, but I could be wrong. I mean, as the car drives or as the crow flies, maybe it's 5 minutes. Yes, but back then that ferry is not going 18 miles an hour. It's just not.
True.
So anyway, yes, right. Boblo was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
You always look forward to that as a kid. Like, we're gonna go to Boblo at the end of the year.
That was usually what a lot of the seniors did. That was their senior trip.
Yeah,
every year you got a trip.
You go to Boblo.
And that was that was where they went. And I think it was the maintenance is the reason they closed it down. They started having problems because, as you think, on an island, everything has got to be imported in.
Well, I think Coleman Young or Coleman Young's son, whoever that was, I think that's where they put a bunch of casinos now. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, I never knew that story. So I learn something new every time I meet with the twins and Timmy, for sure. All right, let's move to number 2, which is... Oh, what happened to the music?
I don't know. You changed it.
Changing scenes pretty flawlessly here, I notice.
I'm trying my best, All right, so we took a trip to Las Vegas when I had a conference, and we took it with a couple of friends of ours as well. We all stayed.
And we rented out an Airbnb.
Nice.
Or Airbnb, whatever
First time.
It was really great once we got into the Airbnb, but I digress. So we decided to go to this old Vegas ride, which is the iFly. And the iFly goes across the Strip. And oh my gosh, if anybody's been to the Strip in Fremont, the old Vegas Strip, it's full of freaks. And
Oh yeah.
So the line is so long. Well, first off, we called and we got tickets, and the line was so long. And in fact, I think somebody was getting us beers during the line, thing. Somebody got us a bunch of beers or something. We were in this line, but once we started again, once we got up to the top and we were just about to get strapped in to our Superman poses, which I'll just give you an idea of what they look like. So they strap you in that your tummy is facing down, facing the Strip. See how many people are looking at you? And so they're strapping us all in. And I just hear Timmy.
That's the time you want to throw up.
Well, that's what
I'm telling you. You get that mass casualties. That's what I was thinking too.
Exactly.
Is it raining?
Oh no. There's no excuse. And they're strapping him in. And they had to put extra weight on me. This is why at the very end you'll see a picture. I look like a Ninja Turtle because they had to put all this extra weight. Because if you're not a certain size, you can't swish across the Strip.
Yeah, you see the red bags on her?
Yeah.
Those are extra weight.
You need to keep that momentum going.
Obviously, they didn't need that for me.
That's the problem with tieflings, is they're not very heavy.
We're deadly, but we're not heavy, right? Yeah, so see the difference in expression? Of course, I'm way behind those. So we got 4 people going at once. We got our 2 compadres, and they push you off, and you go flying on a zip line over all these freaks in Fremont Street. Here's another picture. When we land, I am in bliss, and Timmy looks like he's going to puke.
Right?
I'm like, get me out of this. I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the problem was? The whole experience I thought was cool. I did my normal thing like I normally do. But about 90% of the way through the ride, it stops. Boom. And if they don't warn you of that, and so if your tongue is like, you're gonna cut your tongue off. Thank God I don't do that. But if you did, that's what would have happened. So this whole experience, I mean, there's so much more behind this than just the I fly over Vegas. All right, and this is what I was telling Trace. And I didn't convey it very well last night. I was a bad guy. I got into an argument with Tracy. What I want to convey is there's so much backdrop to this story than just this. Okay, so for those of you who know, the Turpin family, who were housed in their basement or whatever, 13 kids that were under lock and key from their parents. Anyways, they have a little bit of a backdrop to our story. So when we went here, I thought I would surprise Tracy. We were going to get remarried. And we did.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With a Vegas Elvis. We wanted an Elvis pastor remarry. The same Elvis pastor is the same Elvis pastor that remarried the Turpin mother and father. Now, if you don't know who the Turpin mother and father is, oh, look, she had it all prepped. So that guy in the background there, that Vegas guy, all right, he's the one that remarried us. But when we first even got there, we got to our Airbnb and we couldn't get in because the guy that gave us the code to get into the house gave us the wrong damn code. So I'm texting this guy over and over again, dude, we can't get in. The code is, he's like, oh, try this. Oh, I gave you the wrong code. So we finally got in. But anyways, so this whole wacky thing, and we took, we got married again, and we shared this Airbnb with the couple here on the far left. That was, well, Burnell is the guy on the far right. He was my best man. And then on the far left was, help me out, Tracy.
Lori?
Was it?
And Stacy.
That's Stacy, and then Lori. Yes. And then obviously there's the Elvis. And so they remarried us on the same night. No, not the same night. This was, I think, the night before. And then so we're walking around, and you can't see Tracy's shoes unless she removes that I Fly Old Vegas thing and get a look at her shoes. So we get married, and we get in a limo, and the limo drives us somewhere and drops us off. So we go walking around Vegas. Her shoe breaks. So she's walking around in one of those shoes that's now turned into a flip-flop. All right. And so that's what I was trying to convey to Tracy last night as she's putting this together. It's like, you can't just put one thing or a top 10. It's like experiences or whatever. And I'm like, there's so much more depth to this story than we could spend an hour on this thing. There's so much more to it. And you could actually go online and look up the Turpin family Vegas wedding, and you'll see this dude. He's there. And literally, he married us before he married them again. And it was and then another backdrop to this. Okay, so here's another thing. I'm working at Pier 1 at the time, right? So I'm on vacation from Pier 1. And I had sent this was live streamed. Our wedding was live streamed. And I sent the live stream link to some of my coworkers, and they watched it at work as it was happening. So they're commenting as it's happening, and they're like, hey, why is your hand on your wife's ass? And things like that. And I'm like, well, my wife, it's like...
Right.
So, I mean, this whole experience was just crazy, wacky. Yeah,
my God.
Unbelievable. I mean, there's so much more to this story.
Yeah, so we had so much fun. We had this is the couple, and this is the end photo that they gave us at the end. Timmy's looking like he's got some color back in his face. We're all looking like we're kind of happy.
Smiling because his feet are back on the ground.
Yeah, well, we're not actually we're in this cage that's really up high still, but yeah, our feet are actually... Oh my gosh.
It was fun. I gotta tell you, it was fun.
Old Vegas, I would recommend that to anybody for sure.
And here's another quick tidbit. When we went down there, we were staying at the El Cortez. Nothing but props to the El Cortez. It's on Old Vegas, on the old strip. When we went to go check in, they booked us and they saw a reservation, but they didn't have a room available that we had booked. They upgraded us to a suite. So we had this
Nice.
huge room, massive room, and it was gorgeous. It was great. So hats off to the El Cortez.
El Cortez, yeah. I totally forgotten about that part. Yeah.
I saw the Vegas, and I was hoping the story was going to be how you guys rode that one roller coaster that's on top of one of the buildings, and the roller coaster
New York.
jumped out.
Well, again,
No.
another again.
Another
Like I
story.
said, we could spend an hour on this. We were in line to go on that, but Tracy looked at my face and said, "This is not something he wants to do." And
I don't
she's
have
like,
enough
"If you
life
don't-"
insurance on him yet.
She's like, "If you don't want to do this, we don't have to do it." And I'm like, "Really, honey? I love you. Thank you so much. Let's not do this." So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel bad
exactly.
about that. I do. We
Well,
could go
okay,
back and do
so
it
I've
again.
gone on that ride. Like I went, I think in 3 times I went on that ride because it was so good and it's so short. And I was really excited to introduce Timmy to the ride, and he said he would go on it, but I knew it would not be for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I said no. All right, so
I already
go
know what
ahead.
number one is.
we know what number 1 is, right? Can we figure out what number 1 is? It is.
Scott, what's number one?
It's right
It's
there.
the
It's the
Magnum.
Magnum.
It's the
I mean,
Magnum.
No.
Yeah.
You talk about, we went pretty much in the heyday when the Magnum first come out. And
It
we're
was the
talking
tallest
lines in
in
excess of like
the
2.5 hours. But I think we only waited maybe about half an hour because of certain circumstances that happened for us.
Oh, what were those certain circumstances that happened for us?
add the whole story, Scott. Tell the whole story, the
Well-
before, the during, and the after. Come on, right?
You know, I mean, before we get there, we're over there, you know, and we're doing what anyone does when they on vacation or amusement. We're drinking, you know, and we get in line, and we're still proceeding to drink, and we're
Aren't
waiting.
you hungry? Didn't you eat something?
I don't remember. Did I?
Yeah, a chili
yeah.
cheese fries.
Oh yeah. Duh. Love my
We
chili.
shared chili cheese fries and a
Yes.
beer.
Yes.
And then we were in line, and they said, "Oh, we're sorry, the ride's going to be delayed because there's some, things that we have to fix."
We gotta shut the ride down for some scheduled maintenance.
Yeah. So, and we didn't hear this at first. All we know is we're over here drinking our beer, eating our nachos, and all of a sudden, the line's moving, and now we're talking extremely fast. We're like, "Wow, what's going on?" I don't know, but
Everybody was
close.
getting
By the time we get up to where, as waiting in line, you get excited when you can actually see the roller coaster. You know, the seats. You can see people getting off and on. You're like, oh, we're like, yeah, we're close. That's when the whispers start to get a little louder, and we hear, oh yeah, they're shutting it down because they're going to replace all the wheels and all the carts. And we're like, what? So that's why everyone else was leaving, because nobody wanted to be the first one on a ride that just had new wheels put on it. But for me and Tracy, that just added to the excitement. We're
Gosh,
like,
look at
oh,
this
yeah.
This is the drop. It's 205-foot drop, and the roller coaster itself is like, what was it, 575 yards or something? I mean, it's really long, and it's also like this drop. That is what it looks like in the 205, and it's a 48 degree drop,
No,
205 feet.
I think it's more than that. I think at the time this was built, it was the tallest roller coaster and fastest roller coaster in the world. I believe 205 feet is accurate. I believe it was 70 to 75 miles an hour was the top speed. as
Yes,
it comes
75.
out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's still one of the top 10 fastest roller coasters in the world.
Yeah,
Wow.
they claim 205 feet, 72 miles per hour, and 2 minutes 45 seconds of a ride.
Yeah,
But I'm assuming a good chunk of that first minute of the ride, all you're hearing is a
you're climbing.
clink, 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 clink,
Yeah.
getting up to that. Because I'll never forget when I talked Mark into going on that ride with me, and the whole time, oh, why is this? How long is this going to take? How come we're not going down yet? And he was just so scared. That was it.
Nope.
But it was like the first time I went on the demon drop. I went with Uncle
Chris, right? Yeah.
So they get up there, and the machine gets up there, and it gets me in the position, and I didn't know that the bottom dropped out, and you just fell down. So I'm over here like, hey, where's the railings? How come there's no railings? What's going on? How come there's nothing to our left or to right? And meanwhile, he's just laughing. All of a sudden, the floor drops. We go down. I'm just screaming, because I didn't see. I didn't know the floor dropped out, so I didn't see any railings for us to be like going out onto. I didn't know. I was like, damn.
Well, and the
Demon
weird
drop.
thing,
Is that still there?
I don't know. Look.
yeah, I've never been on that. I think they have kind of a comparable ride in Las Vegas at the oh my gosh,
Stratosphere.
Stratosphere, yeah, they have a lot of really kooky rides there. But so in this particular time, we had they have the thrill shot photos, which neither Scott or I can find our thrill shot photos. I don't know where mine went, but when we moved from our last home to this home, because I had it on my bookshelf, it was there, and it was like, so I had a lot longer hair back then, and I had it in a ponytail that day, and my ponytail was sticking way up in the air like that, and so I had my arms like this, and Scott was like going, because he was trying to hold up his hand. I was like, hold up your hands when we go down. You gotta hold up your hands, And I don't know.
That first hill you come down, which is obviously the fastest, right? And then she wants you to hold my hands up. And what happens at the end of that? What happens at the end of that drop? You then almost immediately enter a tunnel. And let me tell you, this tunnel, you think you got your hands up in your air, you think that tunnel is going to chop your hands off. I mean, I did.
Yeah, because you go up. See, there's another lift that you have.
Yeah, see that
after you go down.
Right,
yeah, I think the second hill is still bigger than the Gemini's biggest hill. I think that second hill is like 130 or 140 feet.
Yeah,
it's still huge.
Yeah, and when you're going through that tunnel at 70 some miles an hour, you don't think you're actually going to fit in that tunnel, let alone, do I want to be raising my hands like this,
I think that is where they had the camera too. They had it mounted right there.
That was the tunnel.
Yeah, and so here's a picture of Scott and I after the ride was...
kind of look like Harry Potter.
Look how cute we are. Oh my gosh.
You see, and so to my defense, the reason I didn't go on this is I wasn't 48 inches yet.
Yeah, there's one, Buddy Ruski. You were definitely 48 inches tall.
No, I did not go on.
Oh yeah, I look like I am wasted and so tired.
You are.
I look like I'm about to go to sleep.
And as you can see, the date's timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner.
1997.
7/5/97.
July 97.
Yeah. Yeah. So and there you go.
July 5th, yeah.
I mean, there you go. It is Cedar Point. That is the Magnum, Cedar Point, Ohio. Would go back there in a heartbeat. In fact, we should have a reunion. Well, I don't know. Maybe Mark, maybe not so much because you just had surgery. But sometime we should go back there. Maybe just ride the merry-go-round.
Well, don't make the mistake I did the last time I went there. I went there it was a Halloween weekend. And we got there, me and my girl got there at the time the park opened, and we left when the park closed. We only rode 4 rides, and one of us was always in a line. The problem was every time we got into a line, it was like a 3 to 4 hour freaking wait. So we wanted to hit the main rides, the ones that was it. 4 rides is all we did. And like I said, while one of us was waiting in line, the other one was either getting food or going to the bathroom, and we'd come back and switch and just wait. Because it was popular, and then there was an abundance of people because they had people all, the coworkers dressed up in Halloween costumes trying to scare you too and stuff, so don't recommend going.
When we went on that 5th of July, I don't think we had any problem getting on any of the rides.
No, I think we lucked out because it was the day after.
Day after the 4th of July, and I think it was the day after that terrible, storm.
Yeah.
I think we got on all the, because I even rode the Corkscrew, I rode the Gemini, I rode the Iron Dragon. You guys did the Magnum.
You did good. We did the Raptor. I think Scott and I did the Raptor. We did a lot of the rides.
We didn't do the Mantis. I don't
think we did the teacup.
No, I don't think we did the Mantis.
The water ride.
Did we go on the cable cars that kind of went overhead? I don't think we did.
I don't know. I know
Mark,
I've taken them before.
I have a link. I will actually put a link in the description of this video for people who want to actually go and see 1997 version of Cedar Point, and then also a really cool video that actually takes you through the whole ride of the Magnum, and also there's Jaws as well. And I believe I have one of the Gemini. I think that's included. So we'll put those links down there for you. But
So when we go. I'm sorry. I just want to interject real quick here. Is when we were at Universal Studios, there was one ride that really surprised us, and there was another ride that really disappointed us. Now, the one that surprised us, it was sort of a knockoff of Space Mountain. And if you've never been to Space Mountain, I know Scott, you have, right? The indoor roller coaster where it's all dark. This was sort of a take of The Mummy. Remember the movie The Mummy with Brendan Fraser? Those three movies. And I want to say it was The Emperor's Tomb or something like that. So it was really cool, and I really enjoyed that ride. It was an indoor roller coaster. But we waited in line like an hour to an hour and a half to get onto the Twister ride. Remember the movie Twister?
Oh yeah.
That was the most disappointing thing I've ever been on in my life. They were supposed to take you into this room, and you were supposed to experience tornado level winds.
I was so afraid for my hair. You guys,
we got in there and
really
it's like somebody put a
hair.
fan in my face. Oh, it's like a ceiling fan in my face. I'm like,
it was so hot that day too.
What the heck was that? I just wasted 2 hours of my life.
I
It was
remember.
awful. Yeah, that was the most. Don't go on the Twister. It's not worth it, and it will mess up your hair.
So Tracy and Tim can see me.
Hi.
So
Hey.
I remember there was a time. You ready for this? Me, Mark, and Mom and Dad went to Epcot to go, and we were going to go on Space Mountain. Now back then, the big three were bigger than what they are now. I feel, clout-wise. Well, Dad had retired, and he got this metal card that said he was a GM employee retiree. Well, it just so happened if you were a GM employee retiree, you got VIP privileges. So my dad's showing the card, to the gentleman. He's got to call somebody that he never seen. All of a sudden, somebody recognizes what that actually is, because they don't see, because there's not a lot of factories in Florida. They're big here in Michigan. So all of a sudden, this guy comes, come on with me. Walks us inside the building. We take an elevator up. It's an air-conditioned house. Get there, free pop, donuts, cookies, lemonade, coffee, right? Then we're sitting there, we're all chilling. Oh, hey, how's things go? Oh, great. You guys need anything? Because my dad's, he's retired from GM. All of a sudden, like, oh, okay, we've got a couple of cars. So we walk over, and where you would normally wait in line and to get on the ride, there was a spot where the tracks were, and we got on, right? And we're like, okay. The guy says, have fun. And we're like, wow, what the heck's going on? So the car starts to move. All of a sudden, we start to come out, and we see, because we went into a dark part, we come out where the light is, and then you hear all these people. Who are those? How'd they get on the ride? We cut in front of the whole ride, dude. Zipped right up, dude. We were already in there.
Yeah.
Just the air conditioning and free pop and everything, dude. And now they don't do that no more, though. But
Yeah, probably because you ruined it for them.
no, that was awesome. That was just so. How'd they get on? How'd they get in front of us?
Wow. Well, so there's our top 10 experiences. Plus, we added some other ones, the island and some other experiences that you have had. And I appreciate the two of you joining us today.
Absolutely.
On this channel. We thought that we'd do that before I go to Sedona, and I'm going to be going to Sedona on Thursday. So this could be my last broadcast. I could maybe not come back. Who knows? But if I do come back, then we'll have all kinds of Sedona stuff to watch. The Red Rocks and all of the vortexes.
Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon. I'm going to the Grand Canyon. Oh,
Nice.
kitty. Look, Mark's kitty. Oh, please don't lick your butt on my stream. Just kidding. It's fine. You're welcome to lick your butt. Aw.
Yeah.
I see.
Right.
Look
Is
like
it
you
warm
got your
back there,
nails
guys?
done. You got a cute dress. The hair is all. You're looking nice over there. I recognize.
Yeah, well,
They're like a new top or something. Everything got the
This one?
necklace going. Yeah.
Oh, this is not. It's a top, but it's like, yeah, it's just like a,
Alright.
thing. Yeah. No, I'm ready. I'm ready to go to
Yeah.
Arizona and experience 70 to 80 degree weather and howl at the moon because there's going to be a full moon, all that stuff.
Ooh.
And I'll bring you back some footage. I'm sure I'll be back, but I wanted to make sure to go live one more time just in case I don't, because you never know what's going to happen on a plane, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Could be snakes. Could be snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
Well-
own these gosh dang snakes on my mother. All right, anyway.
All
Samuel.
right. Well,
All
I'll
right.
see you guys on the other side.
All
And
right.
we'll go ahead and end this stream. Take care.
Take care. Love you guys.
Well, all right. Yeah, I love you too. I'm going to go ahead and do the outro. All right. Woo-hoo!